answer. Am I right in what I'm saying? So,
So I'm sure that's written in the textbook as well. Karthik, we need to wind up. So before we come to the individual comment about future of news, anything that you would like to add to this discussion?
I think the problem here is not industry specific. It's a global problem. When we look at subscription in news, I think we're getting confused between linearity of content and subscription on the digital and other premises. I speak of it on purpose because globally, if you look at it, subscription in the new manifestation is still a challenge. Whether it's The Economist or the Wall Street Journal globally, even they're finding it difficult to get subscription. See, I think we are approaching it in an incorrect manner. The way we have to look at consumption going forward is that only way subscription will be possible is if consumers think the content is worthy of paying for it. And that will only happen if there's commonality when you're consuming content. So in other words, let me put it in an example. I think the future of news for subscription lies in communities. A common platform where people come together to use content, consume it, and will be able to actually use it to their advantage. They'll pay for it. Unless it's generic in nature, they will not pay for it. And that's a problem we have to deal with. That's a problem because it's the same for us as it is for the rest of the world. I think the biggest challenge that lies there, and if I can come back to our earlier panel, because I wanted to make a point on that, is that which numbers do we go by? I mean, numbers, when we speak of, we have two sets of numbers. We have numbers that we come through the television rating mechanism, and then we have another set of numbers that comes through digital media. And not to say that those numbers are not right, or those algorithms are not right. Frankly, they are far more in depth and far more in detail. So when we put out a video on a channel and we say that according to the television metric, it has reached so many million people. At the same time, when you put out the same content on digital media and we say it has reached to far more people than what the metric says, I think that is a challenge. So which numbers to follow? That is also a constant process. So I definitely ask,
I'll just briefly answer to that. Try and
I want Shashiji to answer that. So.
One sec. I'll just give it to Shashi, but I just want to add something what you said, and the question becomes complete then. I think if you talk about which number, while we measure broadcast audience number, that is broadcast. When you measure digital, that is digital. And I still feel the digital audience in India is still evolving. It's trailing a little bit behind broadcast. Having said that, I can tell you that a couple of markets in India, like let's say Bangalore, Karnataka, let's say Maharashtra, there is a correlation between, let's say, YouTube concurrent viewership and television rating, which is there in Hindi too. But some markets it's not there. But then why we can't strictly look at that from the YouTube concurrent viewership is that you can influence that by boosting.
But YouTube might not be the only parameter, no? There are multiple parameters.
That's right.
So Hindi heartland might have more impressions on Facebook, while the urban cities might have it on Twitter and Instagram.
So Shashi, are we heading towards that?
I'm mindful that PK has a flight to catch, and this answer could take very long. So I thought, are we doing a session on
yes. on the measurement rating system?
Because I'm mindful my friend showed miss his flight.
Right. So, okay. Finally, I think we'll ask for each one of you to comment briefly on how do you see the future of television news. And I have a proposition. I think the panacea for television news is, which is again very controversial, very radical. The total revenue of news industry is about 5,000 crore. So if I could give away 5,000 crore to all the news organizations, say that this is the revenue that you earned last year, here is revenue for 1 year, and I'm giving you 1 year time to turn yourself completely pay and no advertising, and you'll make do with your subscription revenue. And the consumers will decide whether they'll pay $100, $10 or $1 for it. Will that work? Or if there's any other feature of news direction that you have.
So, my friend, can I go first? That's a very nice discussion for a conference room hall like that. Yeah, we are not going to go that path. So, may I make a suggestion? Be more practical. The practical thing is what I said. If you guys collaborate together, collectively as a body, and I'm so thrilled to see this body together, so many of you. and you find in a ways, have faith, maybe offline Peking can tell you, Vikram can tell you, we are getting huge traction for ourselves when we collaborate. You know, as we say, we fight by day, we are competitors by day, we are collaborators by night. Literally. The drink binds us together, so, you know, there is a lot. That's my message, which is more practical than what you are saying.
So you're saying future of news is to consolidate and don't fight? Collaborate. Okay. Right. Shant?
Yeah, I think very simply put, loads of opportunities. These are days where we are all very also looking at different challenges, etc., you know, from the economy aspect. At the same time, this is a time where we can definitely collectively work and create fantastic solutions, right? So I see a bigger role of news channels in creating solutions for every task every advertiser is facing, irrespective of whichever market, whichever language. In fact, they are all strong points for us to deal with. My urge is to really, you know, take some of the points which we spoke, right, which is leveraging all our assets, look at technology solutions, look at thinking more as solutions for advertisers, get it more collectively, talk more, change the narrative, talk more to the entire industry, some of the new ones, some of the people who are in the new roles, etc. I think they are all going to be a strong help to, you know, get our pace much more stronger, right? Definitely, this is only going to get more bigger and bolder. You have a lot more assets which you are creating, each one of you in different phases while dealing with the same subject, right? And but the solutions and approach can be similar and be more collaborative. And as an ecosystem, all of us will work together. Thank you.
To really exponentially grow, not the gradual growth that we see now. So what is your plan for the coming few years in terms of what kind of growth can we see in that sample size? Because that will kind of bring down the lot of ambiguities that we see in the data today.
So I give the answer in 2-3 forms. The first form is, I'm missing my friend Vikram. He's last promised having coffee. Maybe it's good to get him here because he will answer the question.
Actually, yes. Is Vikram here?
But I will answer the question in 2 ways. So it's a very expensive proposition. As you know, BARC is about 300 crores in terms of expense, and bulk of it comes from the GCs because there's a 0.75, 0.8% revenue which comes in from there. So obviously it's optimization of cost versus... Vikram sir, we need you here.
Vikram, there's a question on TechCom which you are...
Jaggi asked a question which I think you're more competent.
Why don't you come up?
Yeah. So... yeah, I need you to come up. So
It's an ambush. It's a BARC ambush.
So you know, firstly, what is the number of boxes going up?
In terms of percentage,
No. So Vikram will answer the question, will number of boxes going up, will it lead to relative errors being coming down? That's the question you asked. He will answer the question, I'm not sure. And at what stage it will happen. However, there is a big discussion happening at this point in time. Vikram and me are both involved on, and sir had started this on RPD, return path data. Yeah, we are working on that. The problem with return path, and that's in my mind, a foolproof way of doing it.
Of course.
There are 2 challenges with return path is, return path on DTH is possible. Not all operators are agreeing in the pilots at this point in time. Yeah. On cable is a monster. Yeah. And I will say something because I believe I'm a friend of the industry. So, and you understand, I'm this part, I say in my personal capacity, not as BARC, that if you keep out, like some people are pushing us that, you know, do only DTH and don't do cable. So time spent on cable is more than time spent on.
Of course, yeah.
And the implication of that is that total TV already is dropping, it will drop further.
Even my question is on the same thing, like as Jaggi says it, like today we are an amalgamation of national and regional media. But when we are sitting, we are totally represent our NBF as a federation. But the same question, since I represent Northeast, so we have a population around 45 million people, so touching every doorsteps. Our issue is that like we are exempted from a lot of things like in DAVB, but when it comes to the TRP, that is a bread and butter. So ultimately, logistically, we are not supported. and the same sample size of 50,000, whether it's representing the 45 million people, like how do we do it? And in an earlier conversation, as I was hearing, so when it was News Live, Assam is okay. But in an other channel, when we have the Northeast Live, we represented the 8 states. But the thing is that in that case, when we are not logistically supported, our TRP level doesn't show high. And when we go to the planners, they strictly abide by saying that, no, you are not included. Then our existence comes into a threatening factor.
Absolutely.
So how do we explain that?
I'll answer the Assam question. I don't know, problem is in the forum you say how much you say, but well, I made that way, so I'll say. So there are two parts to this. Assam is an easier one for fix. We have been debating. You see, today Assam is part of HSM, rightly or wrongly, you know. And when we do the relative errors, and I'm throwing this open for discussion so that, you know, feedback can come as he talks of petition. Sorry, he's one of his there.
I'm here, no problem.
So one of the debates we are doing internally, and it's a contentious debate, if you understand the implication of what I'm saying, or I'm going to say just now, that suppose we treat Assam separately. It's not part of HSM. So, as a reporting market. Once we treat it separately, then obviously the sample has to be representative of Assam. So, sample may go out somewhat. But when you treat it separately, then a lot of broadcasters use Assam to build their numbers in HSM, may suffer. So, that's the debate we are doing.
Mane, right now we have 2 TV channels. One is Assam based and one is Northeast based. My Assam based, which is News Live.
So I said it wrongly. What I meant was that take that whole part
Shashi,
out of HSM for discussion. Yeah.
Shashi, her point is
I can, you know, I can.
I think, yeah, Chiku can mention it better, but the point being made here
I can
is about
put it
sample
straight.
size and representation.
Let me put it straight. That we all know that regional channels are the future. But when the numbers come, the national channels, numbers are always, GRPs are always more.
That's not true. That's not true.
Let me just tell you, I just want to give you an example. Since I have both the things, so I know. Now, you know that in the cable, the time spent is more. We also own a cable network, which is the largest one there. We have 25% subscribers who have not subscribed to any national channel. They only watch that regional channel in their own language. And I think this is the trend all across the country. A lot of MSOs are sitting here. So regional channels, there will be a population of 20 to 25% people who don't watch any other language. They only watch their own language. So they should always have a 20-25% advantage on the numbers. But when the numbers come, we see that in the same language. You know, if other regional channels are there, their numbers are more than what the regional.
So maybe may I recommend we take this point offline, and because I've not understood the point. My point is that if you look at Andhra, or you look at Karnataka, or you look at Tamil Nadu, and you know the numbers, whatever we see, and I call out the market, like Assam I called out because I know the problem in Assam. So here my impression is that the overall local language viewership is far higher than the national viewership. So therefore, I'm not able to empathize with
the point.
Why was the reverse path, methodology not adopted when we all knew that that was there, and with broadband coming in, almost all the MSOs, all the DTH players, it was already
so here you're saying return path. So the point I'm making is that what I said earlier, return path. Firstly, we'll take that 2-3 complications of return path. Huh?
Yeah.
The first complication of return path. So we are moving, but we are moving slowly in that direction. Yeah. The first return path on cable is not possible. In most markets, cable is, you can't get return path going there. Yeah, they're not, the boxes are not enabled. Number one. Number two, as you yourself said, on cable time spent is more.
Yeah.
Our concern as BARC is a stakeholder body to ensure that perception-wise, total TV doesn't drop. Minute you do only DTH, it's not representative, it's not fair, because 60% of India is cable.
Cable, yeah.
And you can't ensure thing drops further. You know, that's the second point. The third point is when you get return path, you will get household data. Correct? I am a big believer if you go with household mix.